you can't be a pro if you don't start.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect Podcast, where we interview interesting people with a story to tell
and share what breadcrumbs they've picked up along the way. I'm Danny.
And I'm Brittany.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect.
Myrna, thank you so much for joining us. It was really important for us to do a New Year's manifestation episode. So Brittany and I have had a conversation. We've had a chance to meet up with Dr. Kell, which she came highly recommended from you. And now we're excited to discuss manifestation with you. It was important for us to bring in a couple of experts. And so with you being in this space, we're just excited to talk to you. So thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited. It's first time showing my face, right, as founder of Manifesting Tribes, and I'm really excited of having this conversation and talking to you.
Thank you. I know that we found you through that account on Instagram, which I had already been following, which is really neat. A breadcrumb. That is where you share insights on personal growth, embodiment, and conscious manifestation. After navigating high-pressure corporate environments, she turned to learning, reflection, and content curation as part of her own growth journey. And now shares those insights to help others remember their inner power to create meaningful changes in their lives. And that's what we're hoping to do here today, is share what you know so we can continue helping others in their life as well.
Definitely. And that's why I was like, I'll follow this breadcrumb, right? Like I've been thinking of putting my face a bit more. And I started the brand like Manifesting Tribes. One, because I wanted to learn more about it. Two, I didn't feel the pressure of me being the one in front, right?
Myrna, I'd love to know, we know who you are and we have been following Manifesting Tribes, but for anyone who doesn't know, I would love to hear a little bit more about how did the account get started and what really caused you to take that leap of faith to create Manifesting Tribes?
Well, that's a really good question, and it's a mix of different things. I'll start with how my corporate journey has, gotten me into the technology space and e-commerce, omnichannel. And so my 9 to 5, it's being this channel director in a retail company where I work at. And so I've always been really interested on the digital space. And I'm like, if I can do this for someone else, I can do this for me. So I come also like my dad, my grandpa, like they've been entrepreneurs. They have their own companies. So I've always had this, like, I want to create something for myself, right? So everything started like from that space. And I've tried a lot of different models. And then I stumbled with this like theme pages on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't have to show my face. And then when like, well, what can I do? I was like, I've been along this journey of personal growth. I started to learn about manifestation. So these were topics that I wanted to learn for myself. And I'm like, hey, well, if I create this page and this around this topic, it's not only for me, like it's my journey, but I'm sharing with people that are also on the same journey, right? So that's how it started. Like I wasn't thinking something big about it, only like probably my own need of understanding much more how I can grow and change. And I'm so self-conscious and so aware. And I've been growing and doing a lot of different things to get it till this far. And then 2 years later, on February next year, it's going to be 2 years of this account. It's like, I've grown so much. I've learned so much. I now use it on my personal and work, for example, with my team. These are topics that now are like always on my mind, and now I'm like, hey, I just started this, just, like trying to do something on the digital space. And now it's something that I do on and use in my daily life.
That is so impressive that it's 2 years old. And I think you're up to over 300,000 followers, which is two things. It's a testament to the message that you're putting out there. And secondly, it's showing that there is a need for this message to be out there and people are responding positively to it and sharing it with others that will also benefit. And this is just another platform for you to get the word out on how this can really benefit other people's lives. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Like I didn't like I knew that it could go that way, but I never thought, like when you're just doing it and enjoying, and you never know like all what you can do and accomplish. And I'm like, how the hell did I get to 300,000 followers?
And when you're teaching others, you yourself learn, which is it's exactly what you're saying. And Brittany and I, when we were talking about our own conversation with manifestation, one of the whole reasons we created this platform is, or maybe I said it in the interview for just me, but either way, it's we know that we have influence within our own space, our own walls, whether that be confined within work or family and friends. And we just felt like having this platform of the podcast would help get any message that we feel like needs to be heard out into the universe, into the world.
Definitely. And it's good to follow those breadcrumbs, right? Or those nudges. Like if you're having those nudges, it's because of something, right? Like there's a message or something the universe is asking of you to put out there.
A testimony to your success is the fact that you are doing it. You're coming from a place of contribution. You yourself are wanting to learn and grow. And, it's not coming from, I want something selfish out of this, but how can I help myself and at the same time expand that help to others? And I think that truly shows in the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So I have a question. When we first met, you had mentioned that you have these mantras that you live by, and there's these really great little snippets of things that you probably use within your team as a leader, or that you use within your own life. Do you mind sharing some of these little mantras that you use within your life?
Yes. There are some mantras that I didn't know they were mantras before, right? When I would say the unconscious Myrna, and then now aware Myrna that knows all these tools, right? But for example, something that I really believe since I was little is I always find a way out, right? Like I always find a way out, I always find a way out. Or like if I want it, I always get it. Those are things I've been saying to myself, like always. Then when I started learning about manifestation and the power of our thoughts, right? I'm like, now that makes sense. That's why, like, if I really believe that if I want it, I'll get it, that happens in a way or another. It just happens, right? Or things are always going to fall into place. I'll always find a way out. Eventually it happens, like I believe because I see it, but now I understand, like if that's something you believe and it's something that you're conscious about, well, your brain will show you that, right? Like I really like the example of if you're going to buy a car, all of a sudden you're seeing that car everywhere, right? And it's not that it just happened magically. It's that your brain filtered that information, and that's why you are seeing it, right? So that's why I start a lot. Now I am much more conscious about my thoughts, like what are the thoughts I go to sleep with, right? So I go like when I'm just going to be like unconscious, that like those last 5 minutes that you're getting comfortable in your bed, I start like being really intentional. I'm really grateful of the day that I live today. I'm so grateful, right? That I have my family, my little 8-year-old, my wife. Like I start replaying all the things that I'm really grateful in the day. I usually also end up with self-love affirmations. That's something that I work a lot. I like, you did good today. You're awesome, right? Like, feel so proud of what you've been building, of what you did. And I've noticed that I've woken up like lighter, like before when I was like really stressed and I was so workaholic, I would go like to sleep with a lot of things of work, like, oh, I'm so stressed and this happened. And I woke up all tensed and all stressed. And now I know, like, so important how you go to bed and what you, like, your last thoughts of the day matter so much because your brain will replay that while you're sleeping and you will believe that is truth, right?
That's really cool because how you fall asleep actually sets the tone for the morning and the next day, which sets the tone for your life. And we're hearing this consistent theme of gratitude and not coming from a place of selfishness and just take. It's like, no, I'm thankful for what's been given and you're giving back in return.
Right. So that, and also in the mornings, now it's easier also in the mornings waking up and you feel grateful because you slept with that thought, right? So again, you start with your mantras, and usually it's like all is good, all is fine. I really like Louis Hay's affirmation that it's all is fine. Everything that happens to me is for something greater, and all is good. So also that's been good because it helps reframe a lot when things start in your day and things go south or something unexpected and that you react, right? It's easier to just reframe and say, if this is happening, is because there's something I have to learn here. It's not because I'm bad. It's not because I'm doing something wrong. At least for me, that's like usually something bad happened and I would go and blame myself, and it's horrible because you're your worst enemy.
I think that's really important. And Myrna, I'd like you to maybe, or maybe we should just drive the point home a little bit further, because too often if something bad happens to us, we think, what did I do that to deserve this, or I messed up in some sort of way, or I'm a bad person, or bad things happen to me only. But if we can reframe our mind and change that to, okay, this thing happened. What am I supposed to learn from this? Or what am I not seeing that the good can come from this?
Yes.
Then, our whole mindset change, our whole posture changes, and then our trajectory of our future is going to change from that. So that's really powerful. And I think that more people, if we could do that, we would see that bad things are just going to happen. That it's just life.
Yes.
We're not bad people, but things happen and we have to move forward, and we have to find a way out. We always find a way out. I'm curious, you mentioned that you were saying these mantras before you even kind of realized they were a mantra. How old were you when you were saying these sort of things? Like, how did that come to be?
I think I was a bit older. I wasn't like, I don't know, a child, but I would say probably around high school or like studying in the university, like when I just stumbled into something. I don't know, maybe that was my guides, or God or whatever you want to call it, but I would have that nudge like, hey, you always find a way out. Chill. You'll figure it out, right? And
I mean, high school, college, like that's, I feel like that's an impressive time to learn those things, because too often I feel like we kind of get a little bit later in life before we start realizing that we have those. So kudos to
thank
you.
you. Yeah, like I didn't realize it at a time, but I now can remember and like, oh yeah, I remember I said this part, like things that like changed. Like for example, when I went abroad and I wanted to go to a states university because I wanted to practice much more my English. Oh, I didn't say that right. I'm from Mexico. So I've been learning English my whole life because I live in the northern border to the United States, right? So it's really common to have our like primary schools with English. Anyway, the thing is, I was like, I want to really go like and leave the college experience. So that's why I have it like so present, because remember it got a bit tough, like all the things that you had to do. And I'm like, I'll get it. I'll get it. Like if I want it, I'll get it. And like that's the first time I was a bit much more conscious about like believing that it was going to be mine. I went to university that I wanted to go, like my first option, Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. So I was like really excited about it.
That's amazing. So there's your first manifestation that you didn't even know you were doing.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And I like how you said it came from within, but also not. And we kind of hear about that. And that's how we pre-frame breadcrumbs, is a lot of times they are these external influences or these external messages that we just need to be in tune to and connected with to make sure we are going that right direction. And so, like you said, some people call it God, some people call it the universe, or whatever religion you are a part of within the world. It's a consistent theme.
Yes. I do believe there are things that we can't explain, right? And I like to believe there is something external that's watching out for us, and that we are connected to it, and we just have to listen to our intuition, right? It's not I like to believe it's not a casualty that we are the only living being on the planet that has this possibility to reason, that your brain is something different from your consciousness. And I tend to believe that has a reason, and that we have to do something meaningful about it, right? It's such a big power that I don't think sometimes we realize.
I know. And thinking about how we are these beings on this planet, right? That we've amazing inventions and we live a certain way and we've evolved, and every generation builds on the generation before that. And I think a huge part of that is how we as humans can be creative, right? Like we make art, we make music, and we see your equipment in the background here. And so I'd like to hear about how creativity has manifested in your own life that way.
Well, yeah, like that's something, and I think we talked about a bit when we just met, right? So when I was a child, I really liked music. I remember I drew a lot. Like I was much more in touch with my creativity, and I thought I was going to do something with that as like professional life. But my grandpa always said like engineers is the best. Like everything else, not good, not good. It was like, you have to be an engineer to do something good in life, right? And I do like math. Like, I won't say like I don't like it. I do like it. There was a point in my life I did consider like, no, I want to study music. I really want to study music and I want to go pro. And my dad was like, you can study whatever you want while it's from this university. Like, there's a very important private school here where I live. So he's like, you can study whatever you want, like that's registered in that university, right? Like I'm like, but they don't have music there. Obviously, he did it on purpose. So I'm like, okay, well. Then later on, they had a degree on music production. I'm like, oh, why didn't I have that opportunity before? But well, it wasn't part of my journey, Like now I know also. Let's talk about these breadcrumbs and things that happen. I had to go all this journey of studying engineering and then study my MBA and then studying a master degree on e-commerce and digital marketing because it was part of my journey of getting to understand all this like digital commerce and digital space and stuff, right? Like I wouldn't be able to do what I do right now if this didn't happen. But yeah, so now I'm starting to feel I'm connecting with a bigger purpose that it's been since I was a child, that I'm getting to be creative, that I'm getting to connect with that part that I left so I could go into all this part of engineering and business that's so left oriented, right? When I'm so creative. And but yeah, that's what happened, and now I know that I've been building this beautiful ladder on the wrong wall, but not necessarily, because there's a lot of skills that I've developed that now I'm using to what I want to do. That's more on this space.
That's really important that you said, two things. Number one, creativity, I feel, is something that we as humans, we have a need to express creativity, whether that's music, dance, writing, whatever that art, any form of art, right? Creativity is something that if we don't have it, we feel something is missing in our lives. We need to express, we need that creative outlet to express ourselves. But you touched on something that was really important. You said, if I would have studied music, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that was one of your breadcrumbs of maybe, your grandpa kind of led you into that way. But that's a breadcrumb that at the time probably felt like it hurt. It
Yes.
sucked. I wish this place had music. I want to do music, but I guess I'll settle for engineering. But had you not done that, you wouldn't have Manifesting Tribes, 300,000 followers, doing something that you love, and still at the same time, now you can express yourself creatively with music too.
Yes. 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 You said it perfectly, and sometimes we dwell so much on the things that we didn't have that we forget to see you needed to leave that to be where you are at right now, right? So that's why I'm also trying to reframe, because usually you get a bit annoyed, right? And like, if I didn't like follow what my grandpa was telling me at the time, I would have been doing something else. And I'm like, is this so bad? Really? Like,
Exactly.
so
So true. And I also hearing how you use all different parts of your brain. It's not like you deserted a whole section. And now, like Brittany said, what you're doing is pulling from all those different aspects and places in your brain. So, and you're probably a much more happier individual because of that.
definitely, definitely. Finding a way to be creative, I think that's one, but also like follow your passions that what make you happy. It's something so important. And I now know, and I feel that I lived for a long time just being so resentful at my family, at myself, at life. because I thought I didn't have what I wanted, right? But now I'm like, hey, you create your life. Like if you don't want something and you don't like it, change it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know you were mentioning your grandpa, and when we first met, you got to tell us a little bit about him. I'd love to hear again, and I'd love for everyone else that's listening to hear the story about him and how he I feel like he had a huge influence on what you're doing now, to be quite honest.
Yes, my grandpa is definitely someone I admire so much. He has been a big influence in my life. I really admire him. His story runs so deep in me, and like for me it's like if I would have lived the same that he lived, that I really don't know like if I would have been able to pull it off, and I think that's why he's so much an inspiration, because at 6 year old he was given away by his parents. Like they were really poor, and they didn't have the money to feed him, like basic stuff, so they had to give him away. I think they gave it to like the milkman. He didn't finish even primary school, right? Like he stopped studying, and he had a really tough life. Like his early years were really tough. And anyway, he went on to create a company in the construction industry. Like he was really creative. He really liked like about like painting and what type of decoration you should have, and like the floors. Like he really had good taste, something that he had. I wonder if he had the opportunity to study, like if he did what he did with, let's say, limited knowledge, so he went and created this company. He was like this entrepreneur in the construction industry, but he also had this attitude. Like my father still uh tells us the story. Like my grandpa passed away in 2002. When we talk about him, we remember like all these teachings he left. For example, he bought a lot of things. Like he has this real estate empire, and we have a trust fund, as a family, because of all the things he did and he bought, and how he grew, let's say, in that space. Also, like he got married, he had 10 kids. So, well, at least here in Mexico it was like really common years ago. You will know that like there's a lot of families that, oh yes, I have like 9 uncles, right? And aunts, and so it's a really big family. So the point is, my grandpa was like, if he wanted something, he would be like, let's buy it. My dad was like, hey, you don't have money, don't worry about it, I'll come. Like, let's buy it. He would find these deals of, like spaces or buildings or just things. He was like, I don't have the money, but I'll find it, I'll figure it out, and don't worry. Or for example, I don't know, like a month ago, my dad was actually telling me there was something they wanted him to do for a company, like a new technique or something. He didn't know about it, but they told him, hey, you can do this. Of course, I've been doing it for a while. So he negotiated, he got that job, and he didn't have an idea of how he was going to do that. And I'm like,
No Google back
no
then.
Google,
No YouTube
no
back then.
YouTube,
No
right?
ChatGPT.
Exactly.
No computer.
No computers.
And
And he figured it out. He negotiated. He talked about that on that meeting, and he got that job. How? I don't know. But he did it. You're right. Like he didn't have there something to help him. So he just took it. And then he learned. He found a way to learn it and apply it, and then he did a great job and started offering that service to more people.
Man, you know what's interesting? Your grandpa, you are probably following in his footsteps. He was manifesting before he knew, I can do it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll figure
He
it out.
always figured it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Always figured a way out. And now you have that mantra that
Hmm.
you always figure out a way.
Interesting. Maybe it was on my subconscious because I heard it from him, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was probably a breadcrumb that you had no idea was there.
Yes,
And he was leading you to where you need to be.
definitely. Thank you for pointing that out. I've never thought it that way, and it's true. it came from him, definitely. And I didn't realize it was their word, like his words, and especially because I struggled so much with this like self-worth. So I would be like sometimes doubting so much about myself. So thank you. Now I'll be thinking, that it was my grandpa probably just helping me getting out of that, or those batches when I would doubt so much about myself. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna start crying. That was really nice.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that, sometimes we don't see things in the moment because we're living it. Oh my gosh, Myrna, you're making me cry. Your face was making me cry.
Oh,
I'm gonna get emotional. Look, cut this. Quit. I can't cry in every episode.
I'm keeping this in. No.
This
I
is
can't
why
cry in
you're
every episode.
doing this. This is why you're doing this. So cry it out with me, because I'm so grateful.
I'll cry with you. I'll cry with
I'm
you.
so grateful you made that connection for me. I've never realized that. So thank you so much.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
Oh my
my
gosh, that's
pleasure.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Our family has such an influence in us, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive. And just recently, my dad sent me a poem that he wrote, and I put it into a children's book, and we wanted to add a quote. We couldn't quite find the right quote that we wanted to do. And it's a children's book. It's about elves and magic. And I just started typing, right? We talk about this creative energy and this flow, and sometimes it comes from outside of us. The quote that I wrote, and I think this is tied to the self-worth that you were just talking about, or something along the lines of, the magic we've ever needed has always been within us. And it's so true. Sometimes we don't realize the magic is already within us, whether it be a gift from a grandfather or just realizing our own self-worth. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful.
It is.
That was really beautiful. It's really hard sometimes to move on from such a moment. So I'm glad we gave ourselves some space within that. And again, this is why we're doing this.
Yes.
And we're hoping this helps listeners find their own breadcrumbs within their life. And Brittany, you had mentioned, we don't always realize it in the moment, but there are also some that have happened and might be known. So we'd love to hear if there's any other, or what other breadcrumbs you've had in your life that maybe were a direct link, or you said, wow, that was a sign and that's an affirmation as to I'm on the right path here.
I would say now I'm much more conscious about it. Like probably things that happen. I think there are some milestones in my life that were really these breadcrumbs. Probably, for example, my master's degree. I knew I wanted to study an MBA. I just didn't know where, I thought I wanted something big, Ivy League schools, not like MIT, for example, or Harvard. Like you think about it, right? But things just moved in a way that a really very important business school here in Mexico opened its doors here on my hometown. And I had been studying, a friend invited me to this like women in like business management or something. It was a certificate or something, but it was affiliated to this school. That's how I learned about them. And when I presented the exam, I felt so bad that day, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. So I got rejected. Like my first letter was rejected. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. It was not for me. And then I receive a call like 6 months later. Hey, like we want to like interview you and everything. And I'm like, but I didn't pass the exam, like I don't get it. And then they offered me like to study in that school, and I got like scholarships and everything. And then I discovered that since I studied like that certificate program and it was affiliated and they knew me, they had this like meeting, and I was like really close. It looks like it's not like I failed completely. I don't know. I was missing 10 points, for having the passing grade. So they talked about me and that I was going to do good and everything. And that's why like they interviewed me, and that's why then they offered me to study there, and I got the scholarships and everything. And I'm like, hey, how this did happen? Like I thought I wasn't going to, and I ended up going there. And yeah, I think I finished like in the top 15% of the class and everything. So I didn't pass the exam because I felt bad, like I was like really, I remember I felt, like so drowsy, and I felt like my tummy was not good. Like I had like, my stomach was like, bad. Those days that you wake up and like you're not feeling well and it's hard.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No.
that's something also like I will like the universe has its ways of working, right? And things just
Mm.
happened in a way I never thought it was possible. So, but yeah, that's those are things that I can say, that those bigger milestones. Now I can see a lot of things because I'm always aware of it. For example, manifesting tribes. We're talking, this is a major breadcrumb for me, like I've been connecting with a lot of people and doing a lot of things that I never thought of they were going to happen just because I created an Instagram account, right? So I connected with you guys. I connected with Dr. Kelly. She's amazing. I connected with Karen Tulloch, that she lives in the UK, and she's also such a wonderful person. And we've created this beautiful collaboration. I'm so forever grateful for meeting her. And it's all because of manifesting tribes and people that have reached out, like you had that nudge of reaching out and here we are. When you're aware, you notice much more signs than when you're not aware.
That's true. I messaged Brittany. I was like, I took a big risk messaging this account. She's not going to reply. And here we are talking. You have to ask for what you want, right? You can ask for what you want, but you also have to show up and do the work. And this story that you just told about, no, you didn't get in the first time, but you showed up in a certain way that left a seed for them. It stuck with them and they reach back out. And so you do still have to put in the work.
Right. I got the interviews, right? And I had to apply and I had to do good on those interviews and everything. So once they called me, I'm like, I'm not losing this shot. No way I'm going to lose it, right? But you said it perfectly. You have to go do. You have to act. You have to take action. And manifesting is not about just waiting and see what happens. It's about you understanding the nudges the universe gives you understanding those breadcrumbs, and do something about it, because that's why we're in this world, and 3D world is about creating. So definitely love it how you said it.
Okay, you've given us a lot of great nuggets. What is your favorite piece of manifestation advice?
My favorite piece of manifestation advice is, first, you have to believe in yourself. And maybe that's because it's, what I've been working. But if you don't believe, you won't create. You won't go out there. Because you have to have that courage to do things that make you uncomfortable if you want to manifest and do things different, right? Like I really believe also in the, if you want to change things, don't think they're gonna happen if you do the same things, right? Like there's no way things are gonna change if you continue to do the same. And that applies. You have to do things different. That means you're gonna get uncomfortable. It's something you've never done. It's not in your comfort zone. For me, like first thing is you have to believe in yourself and that you're capable to do much more of what you do right now. Second, I would say you have to be so clear on what you want, because the universe also likes, right, to give you things that, like, as it is said, right, like be careful what you wish for. I do believe that too, and funny story. Well, it's not that funny, but now it's okay. But my wife fell on Friday with the baby on her arms and she sprained her
No.
foot. Everything's fine, but that's why I'm saying
That's
it's not
good.
funny story. Like I was on a meeting on Friday, like with the executive committee in the company I work for, and she was like, so I fell, but I don't want you to be worried about it. So just please come back as soon as possible. I get here, and she's like, she can't walk or anything. So we go to the hospital, and like everything's fine, thank God. Like it didn't require major surgery. She just has to immobilize her foot, and baby is perfect. Like she didn't, thank God, like she was okay. She didn't even cry. Like my wife took the toll on when she hit herself falling, right? But so we were talking and I'm like, so you've been complaining and asking the universe that you wanted me home more time because I've been at work so much these last months, right? Because I have a flexible, how you say, like hybrid model, right? So I go to the office and I can do home office, but because of my title and what we've been launching lately, I've been going to the office a lot, almost all week, or I've been staying working like really late to like 11, 12 p.m. So I'm like, so I think the universe just gave you, what you wanted. I'll have to stay at home because you can't go up the stairs of the house with the baby with your foot like that. Here I am, right? Like having home office. I just talked to my boss and told him, hey, I won't be able to go to the office this weeks. I need to help my wife with the baby, just like moving her around so she doesn't fall again or get hurt again. But yeah. So, be careful with what you wish for, because if you're not clear on what you want, well, you'll get it, but probably it can come in a way you didn't want to. Or she needed also to take a step down, and rest. She's been so tired lately. I'm like, hey, I know this is not what you wanted. You don't want to be hurt, but it's forcing us to calm down, right? It's forcing us.
Yeah.
So
I know sometimes if we don't listen to like universe or, my belief is, that it's God,
Right.
right? I always say God is hilarious.
yes,
He's just really funny. And, you don't think it's funny at the time, but you're like, I did ask for something like this. I didn't think this was how you were going to give it to me, but
exactly.
we are.
Exactly. So be intentional of how you ask things,
Yes.
and you have to be so clear on what you want. Because if not, you'll have pieces of it, or you'll have it in a way you were not expecting it. So that's something also I really believe, and it's a very important part of the manifestation. And especially because we talked about it a while ago, right? Like your brain filters to what you focus on. So the clearer you are, the clearer the opportunities and signs that you'll have, right? And I would say then, third, you believe in yourself. You're clear on what you want to. You have to start taking action.
Yeah. Without action, what is there?
Right? You wouldn't be here, right? Like if you wouldn't decided to take action and create this podcast, like you have to take action and you have to figure out things, right? Like where I'm going to record. I have to find people that want to be on my podcast, right? Like you're starting to figure out things. It's part of the journey. You're learning. And sometimes I think we are so afraid of not being right at the first time, because I think this world has been like created in wanting to find perfection. At least for me, it was like that's why it was so hard for me to just go out and be myself, because I was always also like being a people pleaser, and that I thought love what came externally. But what I wanted to say is that sometimes you think that's how things are, right? Like you look for things outside. All the answers are inside of you. You have the power to change. You have the power to do a lot of good, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to get off comfortable, right? You have to learn, and it's part of it. That's why I've been changing so much, because I thought if I didn't do something as it was expected, I was bad. I wasn't cut out for that. Like you're terrible. You shouldn't do that. But I was programmed like that, and everything, it's a learning journey, of course. You won't be a pro the first time you do it, but you can't be a pro if you don't start. That's what I think. Like, so just change. Don't be afraid of doing things. Do whatever you want. Try it out. You'll learn. You'll get it. And if it's not something you like, it's fine. It's part of your journey for something greater.
I'm so glad you said that. Thank you, first of all, Myrna, for being vulnerable, because it's so hard for us. And I feel like me and you are probably similar. People pleasers, right? You feel you're really hard on yourself. I think as a society, like societally, we strive for perfection. I just remembered this. In school, I think there was a little banner that would be like, strive for perfection. Why? No one's perfect, And I actually see this in my daughter. She's 5. She's trying to draw something. She gets really frustrated. It's like, it's not perfect. I'm like, Boogie, you just tried to do this. This is your first time. It's beautiful. It doesn't have to be art is art. Creativity is yours. There's no right or wrong way to be creative. And I think that I just have to say, I really want to co-sign on what you just said, because it's important. No, I don't think we should be striving for perfection. I think that is what hinders us from taking action on what we're supposed to be doing.
Because what's perfection? Like perfection from who?
Yeah,
like
who knows?
Like your perfection can be so different from mine, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to standardize like that perfection, well, you're living out authenticity. Strive for authenticity, right? Like strive to understand who you are and go for that. And that's perfect, because you're being true to yourself. So I loved it how you said it. Like, definitely. And maybe that's why, like, we're programmed school grades, right? Like, you have to get a 10, right? Or an A, or whatever the grade system
Right.
is, right? But I think that's why then we're programmed, like, if you don't get that A, you're not doing right. Huh? Who says so? That's not true. That's not life.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be good in one place or in one box, then you just switch the box, and then you're not good in that one. Like, it just sometimes it depends on the box you're put in too, on your skill set, on what's going to come out. And I like this idea of reprogramming, because sometimes it is just about reprogramming our brain, and then we reprogram everything around us. And we're setting this example for our next generation. We've all talked about our kids on this call. And I'm laughing. Even last week, I was frustrated about some edits that weren't going right. Like, we couldn't quite line up the audio and visual, and I was very openly frustrated. And my 8-year-old goes, "Mommy, you know that when you're frustrated, it just means you need to take a break." Yeah, you're right. I just need to manifest is going right. No.
You were like,
That's
great, great. I'm doing good. I'm so glad my kid was able to remind me that I have the power, right? To just step away a bit.
Yeah. Well, Myrna, I know that your time is valuable and we want to be respectful of it. I'd love for everyone to know, what are your services and offerings that you have for anyone that's listening?
Yeah, so I've been creating some different products and services, trying to find things that could help people and in a way help other people. So, for example, right now I'm promoting Dr. Kelly's stuff. You talked to her, right? And she's been creating some good stuff that I think it has to be out there. So I'm promoting that, like her Drive and Dream PDFs and books, and she has a lot of courses that I'm also promoting, and I'm promoting that collaboration that I have with Karen Toloch. So she's a certified hypnotherapist, and we created this manifest effortlessly experience, right? That it has 3 audios, which we are framing it in a way that if you are like being an overthinker, right, and you always go to bed with your head full of a lot of things, so you have this like hypnotherapy of resetting your nervous system, going into calm state, then there's this audio that helps you receive, right? Because abundance, sometimes it's not about you can't see abundance, is that you are not able to hold abundance, right? You're not able to receive it. It's a receiving problem or holding problem. So there's that. And the third step, it's about holding the vision, right? Like being able to visualize where you want to be. So it works these 3 steps that I've been we're talking to you. We launched this probably like 2 weeks ago, and that's what we are promoting right now. I've been using my account, like I started doing stuff. I found that it can also be a way to help other creators, right? And people that are healers and that have this passion to help other people. So I want to use also this platform to connect this type of creators, right? That want to give to the world something of use to help people find their inner powers, and me being this connector with people that are in need of this type of services and offers, right? So that's why I'm talking about Dr. Kell and Karen, and I'm excited to see what other collaborations I can get into. Been feeling that's what I should be doing, being this connector, more than me creating something, you know.
What I love about what you just said is you're not only picking up breadcrumbs forward, you're leaving breadcrumbs behind for others to pick up. So you become other people's breadcrumbs for them. So kudos to you.
Nice.
Oh, I love
Yes,
that.
yes,
I love
I like that. Yes.
Have you heard of human design, Myrna?
No.
Okay, well, I won't get into everything now, but I'm going to send you some stuff on human design, because it talks about there are different types, like there's 4 different types of designs for us as humans, right? And we, based on when we were born and a few things, like we're one of these kind of designs. And I think, if I'm right, one of them is a connector.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wait, there's a it's manifestor, manifesting generator, connector. And when you mentioned connecting, I was like, wow, I think you're also probably manifesting generator as well. But I think it's so important that we recognize what our strengths are. And you have, from what I can tell, a very kind and open soul. And you love bringing people together and helping them along their path, right? And so the fact that you I mean, you even said it yourself, like, I want to connect people who have something to offer with my platform, of all of these people that I'm getting to connect with, and I'm connecting them so that they can benefit from what this person has to offer or this person has to offer. I think sometimes like ego can get in the way of, oh, well, I want to be the person giving them something. But I think it's so beautiful that you said, release my ego. I'm going to connect you to. And like Danny just mentioned, you are becoming that person's breadcrumb then.
Yeah.
For other people. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you, girls, for having me today. It helped me so much. Also reframing, like you said, sometimes you need to listen it from someone else, and you had good things that you just said that nourished my soul. And I'm so excited of that, I really like to connect with people. That's why, like, anyone reaches out, I'll answer. It'll take me time, but I think it's part of this journey, and that's what I've been nudging into, like connect.
Even your handle is Manifesting Tribe. So you are manifesting a tribe of people. You are connecting people through your Instagram account. Maybe you subconsciously did this, but we all, as humans and in our reptilian brain, the main thing that we crave is human connection and tribe.
Right.
And so you have literally manifested that through your Instagram account. So tell everyone, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Manifesting Tribes. I talk about all this, about manifestation, our inner power, a bit of neuroscience, right? Like how our brain sets us to live what we live. And love to see more people join and reach out. Like, don't be a passive content consumer, right? Take the leap. And if you are nudged to talk to someone, go ahead, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Myrna. This was powerful. I hope that everyone gets something from this. Share what your breadcrumbs are from this. And don't forget to follow at Manifesting Tribes. Until we see you next time. All right, guys. So don't forget, let's go into our week and
find your
breadcrumb.
Why were we like,
Why?
Is there a lag?
I want that to be in the
That's gonna be
episode.
Yeah, we're done. Happy New Year! This is great.
If you don't listen to this with your kids in the car,
We may cuss, we may offend.
we're here to learn and laugh, not to offend.
We are not experts, so take what resonates and professional advice where needed. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you've loved today's conversation, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Continue picking up the breadcrumbs by leaving us a review and sharing.
Follow us on socials. We are at Instagram at The Breadcrumb Effect, TikTok at The Breadcrumb Effect Pod, and YouTube at The Breadcrumb Effect.
Let us know your favorite episode or what you'd like to see.
Want to be a guest or know someone with a story? Fill out our guest interest form linked in our bios.
Finally, let us know if you found the hidden loaf. Until next time, keep picking up those breadcrumbs.
They're leading you exactly where you're meant to be.
Down
You
a
also
bit.
have great audio, by the way.
Thank you. Well, being an amateur musician, I had to have really good equipment. I barely use it, but I'm like, hey, a podcast, of course. This is great.
Yeah.
I look so
Yes.
cool, but I never use it.
We are so thankful to give you the opportunity.
Yes. So thank you for that.
I'm going to do some actual headphones. This
Next
isn't
part.
working.
We need what Myrna has.
I know. Well, let's roll with it. I don't want to flood,
Right.
right? Like, if you don't want your,
You
not that we have like a major listening base yet.
Right.
Like, no, we do. We will. We
yes,
are.
exactly. Precedence. Right.
Let me start over.
I better remember that, Brittany. I was just like, bye.
Okay. All right, guys. So we'd love for you to go into your week and
Follow
Find
your
your
breadcrumbs. Sorry, I was like, follow your breadcrumbs or find your breadcrumbs.
I'll say follow. She'll
Fine.
say fine.
he always mess
Okay.
up.